Boom. How are you? Hello, everybody.
Hello, guys. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Sunday, the 29th of August.
The 20 what?
Sunday, the 29th of August.
Is it the 29th?
Yeah.
Already?
Already. It's nearly September.
Wow.
Can you hear me? Can you turn it? Can you hear? I'm getting a little bit of feedback.
From me?
No, from my voice on your one. That's gone now. Ignore me. I'm talking rubbish. I'm talking rubbish.
Can't hear it.
I was going to quickly see that we're all live on the old Facebook and the old YouTube Tubi. Yep, we're live on Facebook and we are live on YouTube. Fantastic. Good. That's all we need to know. That's all we need to know here.
No, the reason I asked about the date is because, you know, this horrible hurricane.
Also the Florida lover, as a person who loves going to Florida, I've been watching that very closely. Yeah,
and it's 4 major hurricanes on this date. You know, the 4 big ones.
Yeah,
the 28th and the 29th, and it seems to be a evening, Rick. It seems to be a date for it for some reason.
Yeah, it does, isn't it? Interesting that. I don't put any conspiracy in it, but it is unusual. Good evening, Andy.
Hi, Andy. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a bad one. It looks it's hitting as we speak now.
Yeah, Louisiana. It's missed Florida generally, which is actually unusual. But yeah, it's hitting. Sort of, I mean, God, haven't they had enough? When I went to I was in New Orleans about 2015 doing a trip from New York to Miami, and you still saw, even that was like 10 years after Katrina, and you still saw the devastation. You know.
Well, this one's not looking good. This one's looking to make the same sort of track, take the same track that Katrina did, and it's going to be just as intense, if not a little bit worse. So it's not looking good. So yeah, thoughts out for all those guys that are in its path at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not good.
Hi, Luna.
How you doing?
She knows who we got on the show tonight. She knows.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Jamie. Nice to see you, mate. Thank you. Nice to see you again.
Thanks for joining us.
You've been great, Jamie. You're a very good supporter. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Mrs. Dalgleish. Hi, Andy.
Hi,
how are you, sir? And the gorgeous Pauline. How are you?
Hi, Pauline. Nice to see you.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you for joining. We do tend to just waffle on for the first few minutes of the show, just as people sort of feed into the chat room and that. So you're not missing anything. It's usually just us talking a load of old guff. Mind you, what's different are the 2 hours we spend on the rest of the show.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Hello, Kieran. Thank you very much for joining us. Much appreciated. Oh, thank you, Jamie. We have a little guest on later on. Well, not in a short amount of time. What terrible English. We have a guest on in a short amount of time. We have a guest on soon. How about that? One of our contributors who's been in the chat during our shows, which is great. So before we go on, so yeah, do you got any paranormal news, Mr. Brown?
1 minute while I wet my whistle. Right.
Oh, wet your whistle, sir.
Do you want to get the guest on while we do this?
I think we should.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Because he's sat on the wings. He's in the green room.
Yeah, he's in the green room, the virtual green room. First of all, can I just say once again, if you're listening, thank you very much to Richard Case, who joined us last week. We had a really fascinating chat. So much so I was going to sack Gaz, don't tell him. Not really, but it's a really good chat. So we're going to get Richard back on again because I really like Gaz and him to sort of interact to work. We all seem to have the same mindset. It's a really good conversation. So thank you.
No, I do apologise for last week, guys. I just absolutely hit the wall. I don't know what happened, and I slept for like 24 hours. I just so I didn't eat for 24 hours.
Good. That's something that's good. Bit of fasting. Let your system do other things within your body. Yeah.
Well, something was going wrong, but it wasn't COVID or anything like that because I have to be tested every day for my job. But it was just weird. I don't know whether it was just a burnout or what. But I'm back and I'm fresh and I'm ready to cause trouble this week. So bring it on. Great.
I'm glad you're on the mend. Everyone was sending their love last week, so you might have eaten something. Could be some, you might have eaten a bad burger or something. Yeah. So we're going to bring on a guest.
Yep.
Here we go. At least the levies are in better shape this time around. What? The
levies in Mississippi for New Orleans.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, God. For a person who goes to America a lot, I should know that. We are going to bring on a special guest, a very lovely gentleman who's been contributing in our chat in the last, since pretty much started, really.
Yeah, supporter of the show, him and his lovely wife, Luna.
Yeah.
And we are proud to be members of his page.
One of the best pages out there. One of the best.
Fantastic.
Which is Uprising and Paranormal Investigations.
Mm-hmm.
Uprising is actually a pseudonym for I can't remember what that stands for, but Nath will be able to tell us. So I'm going to welcome onto the live stream Nath Lockley. Welcome, Nath. There he is. Yay!
Hello.
Hi.
You there?
How are you, mate? All right.
Good to see us, mate.
I'm hoping to have solved the technical issues. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I've fixed the technical issues I was having. Everything was crackling and...
Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad. We didn't have the crackling when... This sounds really rude, but we didn't have the crackling when you were off the live stream. It's you, Nath, it's you. No.
So I've got my...
Those damn Apple products.
I've got my headphones and the speaker. I think... Yeah, my speaker's gone on the phone, I think.
Okay.
But
all right, mate. That's cool. Wicked.
Got to say, well, blimey, it's cold. It is a bit.
It's cold. It's all right. We've got the... can you see the comments as they come up, Nath, as well? You can see all that, yeah?
Yeah, can you see him, Nath? Oh, he's actually frozen. Oh, you can see him, mate.
One off the screen. There we go.
Oh, there you go. You're back again. You froze a little bit there, but we heard the audio okay.
Yeah, we'll have to be careful about clicking them up on the screen, Mark, because otherwise we're just going to cut Nath's head off.
No, what it does, if I do his lovely partner, if I go bomb, you sort of shrink a little bit so people can see the comments, and then you take it off, and it's there. Clever. I like this streaming thing. So yeah, we've got 12 watching so far. Hopefully that will go up as we kick in the show. Really enjoying doing this. Thanks for all your support. It's a slow burn, like everything, but we're just trying to give you an honest discussion on things paranormal. With a little bit. What we was going to do. Normally we do the paranormal news at the start, but I said to Mark, we'll get you on because I want to get your take on this as well because this is very much paranormal related, but not at the same time. I've been doing a bit of light reading, as I do, on medical conditions that can cause you to think you're experiencing paranormal phenomena. Okay.
I knew of one where as you're losing your vision, you can hallucinate weird stuff. For instance, there was an older gentleman that he was convinced that his house had transformed to 1940 something or another. All his furniture had transformed, and he could see people walking around in RAF uniforms. And it was down to a medical condition where he was actually losing his sight. So I'm researching all these weird and wonderful things, and I came across one that I'd never even heard of before. Tell me if you've heard of this. It's called Lilliputian hallucinations.
Lilliputian, as in Gulliver's Travels, Lilliput.
As in Lilliput. Yep, that's where it comes from. Because this guy, this famous French psychiatrist called Raoul Leroy, started seeing loads and loads of people around him, all dressed in weird and wonderful clothing. The thing was, they were only about 9 inches tall. About 9 inches tall.
Wow.
And this is a thing. And some people are seeing these people, and he actually wrote a paper on it, and he coined the phrase Lilliputian from Gulliver's Travels, from Lilliput. And some people see a few of these things on a daily basis. Other people see thousands. They're around all the time, and they're like imps, elves, regular people, like men, women, children, soldiers, all kinds of weird and wonderful shapes and sizes, these figures, but they're around them all the time. And like I said, I'd never heard of it. And apparently it's linked. 50% of it seems to be shared by some schizophrenic syndrome. alcohol misuse syndrome, and there was another one. Hang about schizophrenia, alcohol. Oh, and loss of vision, which is why I mentioned it in the first place. And the other 50% is across the board weird mental disorders. But I was wondering if it's something have you ever heard of that, Nath?
Oh, Nath's frozen, I think. Oh, that we fell asleep.
No.
Never heard of anything like that. It's weird, isn't it?
I thought they sounded a bit like machine elves, which is something you get on DMT trips. But so if they see them, they're all minute. They're all small figures.
On average, about 23 centimeters tall, 9 inches. And you can see a few, or you can see thousands in your day-to-day life. They can last for decades. Apparently, you will see.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it? But
never heard that before. Never heard that before. God,
no, kind of weird, isn't it? So that stuff is out there. So people. But the reason I said about it was because people jump on the bandwagon that they've seen something, they've experienced something, and they've convinced themselves of life after death, or they've seen something in their house that scared them to death. And before they go down the possible medical route, they hit the panic button and go down the ghosty route. And I'm infested, I've got infestation, or I'm being possessed, or the case of Annalise Michel, for instance. That was grand mal epilepsy. She stopped taking the medication. She went downhill, and the Catholic priest exorcised her God knows how many times a day, and she died. So it's about looking at the medical side of things before you go down the paranormal route. That's why I mentioned that. So
it's interesting you say it, not going down the medical route, but saying what we discussed last week. When Mandy suggests, I've been thinking about this all week. They're from, if you've got a good group of people with the right intent, you're on an investigation. If it us actually creating any potential phenomena, things are moving, all of that. Right. If you see an apparition, brilliant. But if you have things moving, if it's us actually creating that through telekinesis, but not knowing it, we think we're trying to make spirit make or ghost make contact. But actually, it's not that at all. It's us doing it, And that's something we shouldn't dismiss, I think. I mean, that's an interesting question. Schizophrenia could be another one. Yes, schizophrenia, Luna. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah.
So we was looking into this, and we was talking about it, Nathan, wasn't we? About the mind and how complex it is, and that kind of thing. And this is just another case of it, isn't it? What the mind can do, what it can create. So, yeah. Have you froze again? I think he's froze again.
Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove him a second and then bring him. Oh no! And then add to stream. There we go. Back again. I just removed you a second. You froze again, Nath.
You froze, mate.
He's frozen again. Oh no, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. There he is.
Can't hear anything. Hang on.
Have I got you mute? No, that's good. You're all there. Oh, I'm going a bit bright here. There we go. Can you hear us?
Yeah, hang on. Turn the volume up. There we go.
Cool.
I think we're back. I don't know what happened.
Hey!
My internet must have dropped. I just disappeared.
Okay.
Happens to us. Well, you'll see one of us freeze soon. We got pretty good internet here, and it just decides to start.
My internet very rarely goes out. Very, very, very. I'm actually this is actually for the Wi-Fi. My main computer is actually through an electrical lead because I do a lot of editing and things like that. So, but yeah, it's right by the router anyway, so it's good. Oh, there comes the old clicky click click.
I blame Apple and their terrible, terrible phones.
You sound clear. Thank you. So yeah, it's interesting that. Oh, there we go. Got a bit of a.
Yeah. See if that's better. I'll just hold the bloody thing. See if that makes it any better. Is that clearer?
Yes. Yeah, fine. Oh, maybe not.
Sorry about it, mate. We'll muddle through. It's cool. Don't worry. So, what we was talking about, Nath, I think last week, or no, it would be the week before,
Tell you what,
where we was
I'll go
talking
see if I can
about.
find something else to connect to. You guys chat amongst yourselves,
Okay.
and I'll be back.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
I'll take you off the line a second just so you can reboot it when you're ready. And when I see you come back on, I'll re-add you. Okay, mate. In a second. Oh, bless.
Oh, but it's a nightmare. I had it on. I was due to get a really cool guest on that. It'd take me ages to convince him to come on, and this was in the days of Blog Talk Radio.
Oh,
Their
yeah.
connection was an absolute pig, and I got him to agree to come on the show, and I phoned him, and he just couldn't hear a word I was saying.
Oh, I think I remember that. I think I remember you talking about that. I mean, that's what, 10 years ago? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I was absolutely gutted about it. Absolutely gutted. But, yeah, a few times it's happened. It just, we're at the mercy of the internet, unfortunately, and connections and things like that. So,
I mean, I say it's pretty strong down here in the southeast of England, that is.
Well, especially for you in posh London, you know.
I'm not in London, sir. I'm not in London. I'm in Surrey.
London.
Well, I'm in Greater London. I'm in Greater London, but I say I'm in Surrey. You know,
it's even posher, mate.
Darling. Sorry. Right, Luna. He's getting the laptop now. It won't be long. No problem. Thank you, Luna.
All right, no worries.
These things happen. It's fine. We're just chilling out. So, what did you have any other news? Did you want to bring to the table?
No, that was really it. I've been looking into a lot of these sort of cases, and it always ends up going down the demonic route. I really don't ever want it to, but it just does seem to head that way. It always gets blamed on demons and things like that, and it really it's one of my bugbears that people will hit the paranormal button before they hit any other buttons, you know.
Yeah.
So, but that was an interesting one. I've not actually come across that before, so I was it's pretty cool, that one.
Well, means you're listening to. I'm off researching Kate again tonight. Have a good evening. Catch you. Thank you, Sheena. Well, at least that's a good alternative. That's a good alternative. Thank you very much for popping in here and letting us know. It's lovely. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's not a bad. Yes, that's a good alternative, isn't it? You know.
Mm-hmm.
So something also in something that resonated with me recently. I saw in Nate's group, the Uprising and Paranormal Investigation. Someone posted something that really something I've not thought about for 40 odd years. Is, do you remember being able to fly as a kid? And it just got, and I was like, what? And I had this flashback. And it's a really interesting post. And the amount of people said, yeah, I remember that. I wouldn't say I was flying as a kid, and it happened just up the road here quite a few times. I remember it all came flooding back, but I could lift myself off the ground a few meters.
Really?
Well, obviously, I'm sure it's some sort of dream state, but I do specifically remember being able to lift myself off the ground and float. I'm sure it is just kids' imagination. Well,
I don't know. You know, I assumed it was when you're laying in bed half awake kind of thing, and
that's what I thought. Yeah,
slam onto the mattress kind of thing.
But I do remember doing it. Yeah, I was only about 5. You know, I mean, was I say 40 years? 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Yeah. I remember something similar, only on the stairs. Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting little phenomenon, that, isn't it? I just hadn't thought about it for years, you know.
Yeah, I might have to look into that as well, see if that's something that's reported and what some of the if there is a medical reason behind it, or if we have got anti-gravity when we're younger. I don't know. But no, the only time I've experienced that is the jolting in bed, you know, where you think you've risen above the mattress and you slam back down.
I've not had that.
That's horrible, that, mate. You bounce as if you've just hit the mattress.
Oh, right, okay.
Or is that just me? Might be just me. Perhaps I do levitate.
The only flying I remember was on a plane. Yeah, do you remember that? Do you remember when we could fly? Bloody, I can't believe I renewed my passport a year and a half ago, and I've done bloody use the thing. It went around on Twitter, and a lot of people remember it. And that, wow, yes, I was just looking at that thread, Luna. I was quite surprised how many people it happened to. It's really interesting. When you jump off a building. Yeah, we don't do that.
Yeah, that was the urban legend, wasn't it? If you hit the ground, that's when you die. You're all right falling, but don't hit the ground. Otherwise, yeah.
Ah, okay. Shouldn't be long. Technology really doesn't like me. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does, Nath. Yeah, I found that really interesting thread. It just sort of like I had a bit of a double take. I went, oh wow, and just went straight back to being a kid again. Well, I'm still a kid now, you know. That's right.
Oh, it's cool. You know, it's. I think we were talking about that as well, weren't we? You know, what you actually see, how you experience things when you're a lot younger to when you're older.
That's why I think you need to read.
Different.
I think you need to read. Now, if kids have psychic ability, if not them just having imaginary friends, I think there's something in it, as we know from someone we know with their kids.
But it's a fine line, that all these so-called. I think I did a show on it years ago, like the rainbow children, as they call them, don't they?
Yes. The rainbow children.
Yeah, it's a bit of a fine line, that one, and a bit of an emotive subject. So go down that kind of route. But got myself.
We did joke, actually. I joked with Gaz. Was it today or yesterday? We will do a proper big Halloween special. I know Halloween's got nothing to do with real paranormal investigation. It's just the time. But if Gaz doesn't mind, we'll do a big Halloween special. I'm doing a couple of paranormal talks around Surrey, which I've been hired to do, which would be rather nice. Get paid for it as well. So talking about the ghost stories of Surrey, although I'm not reading to ghost stories, but that should be a lot of fun, actually. So yeah, we'll do a big Halloween special. It's only 2 months away.
Yeah,
if you're up for it. Although we won't do what we said on Nath's thread. No, we're
not doing that. Absolutely.
Although you stripped off. You look in better shape than me, mate. So don't worry.
How do you know what I look like stripped? No, don't actually go.
Sorry, barbecue the other week at Mandy's. Walking around no shirt on, not an ounce
of belly. It was only my top, actually.
Oh, right. Okay.
Just for avoidance of any confusion, it was my top because I smelt like a bonfire. So,
yeah, you're doing the lovely burgers. Maybe these imaginary friends could have been ghosts. No, I think they communicate with them as well. So probably, I do think that's another thing I keep going. I think really needs to do a separation between what a ghost is and what spirit is. You know, I think they're totally different things. Never done DMT myself, but stories of machine elves do seem pretty consistent. It's on my cards. I want to go to South America and do a proper retreat. It fascinates me, DMT and ayahuasca, plant medicines. But you know, they're illegal in most countries because they don't understand them. I was suspending myself in the air in a dream last night and noticed that it was all my willpower that kept me floating. Yeah, that resonates from when I was a kid, though. Okay. When would you do it on Halloween or around it? We'll see what sort of Sundays near Halloween, Luna, and we'll pick a date.
Yeah. What does it fall on this year?
Luna
will know that.
And that's 2020. That's no good. I don't know. I haven't got a calendar on me, but we'll make a big. And we're going to
Pauline. Probably, yeah. It's on a Sunday.
Oh, perfect.
So, yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, thank you, Luna. Right, but we'll do something for that Sunday then. You know, if anyone's up for it.
Yeah. Pauline wants to know if we're going to be dressing up.
I don't. Right, here's the thing about me. Right, here's the thing about which is right. I do not do fancy dress whatsoever. Now, even in my acting days, that as an actor, that's different. If I'm doing a role, but I don't do fancy dress. I don't understand fancy dress. It's like, oh, look who you've come as. Joke's over. So no, I don't do fancy dress. I've actually refused I've actually not gone to parties of very, very good friends because it's fancy dress. I know you think I'm being really stupid and weird. I just can't do fancy dress. I'm not comfortable with it.
That's right. You can sit there looking weird while I look fantastic in whatever I'm dressing.
Do you remember the film Drop Dead Fred with Rick Mel? Yes, I do. He was an imaginary friend. He was the only child. Yeah. Rick Mel's trying to attempt to do a Hollywood movie with mixed success. It was a shame. What a talented man he is. At the theatre I work at, here's a little, we had Rick Mel twice in the years I've been at the theatre doing a tour of Alan Bastard in, oh my goodness me, the political sitcom he did. And I don't get starstruck. I work in theatre. I don't really get starstruck, but I did a little bit with Rick Mel He's such a nice guy as well. Totally bonkers. But yeah, he was lovely. Got to dress up. No. Brilliant.
You won't talk him into it. Once his mind's made up.
Can you put it onto your chin then, Mark? Yeah, I could do that. That's all right. Well, actually, that might be a good idea. Actually, out that Gaz has suggested we do the quiz that maybe as part of that evening.
Yeah,
that'd be quite fun.
Halloween quiz. Yeah,
that's a great idea he came out with. What a shame. No, done enough dressing up in my time. I can tell you.
I'm going to get all the Halloween decorations behind me. Might have a pumpkin, carved pumpkin.
And mine would probably be the same as this. Or, yeah, I'm really a bit of a grump that way. Come on, Mark. Well, I'm going to go out and buy something then. No. I need to dress up if you pay me. That sounds wrong. Acting, I'm talking about.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Too late, mate. That was a Freudian slip.
It was a Freudian slip. Oh! Yeah, Rick Mal was lovely, by the way. Yes, he was lovely. I had nice conversations with him. So, mad at the box of frogs. But yeah, that was an interesting time.
That's some of the funniest stuff I've seen is when they did Bottom Live and the outtakes from Bottom Live. The outtakes, yeah. Hilarious.
I don't know why. I've never understood. I mean, apart from Paranormal, I'm a big comedy fan. But I never got off on Bottom. Not that I didn't like it. I just didn't find it.
You really got to rephrase things, mate.
What did I say wrong? Yeah, sorry. I never got off on Bottom. Oh, God. I never found Bottom that funny, although it was funny. Does that make any sense? I never got off on Bottom. That's an outtake. I might have to find that clip. What clip? Where are we at? We're at 27:26. I'm gonna make a note of that and try and do a little blooper in itself. A little blooper there. Yeah.
Oh God, I'm such a child.
Never got off on Bottom. Oh, Bottom, sir. Oh, actually, I was supposed to be talking about Paranormal. Yeah, the young ones are brilliant. Yeah, I've met all of them actually over the years. Yeah.
I really must grow up.
No, I ain't got time for that.
Overrated, isn't it? Totally overrated. Right. Anyway, this is a paranormal show.
Just fighting with the mic. Give it us.
Oh no, it's all right. We're just killing time.
I hope we've still got 18 watching. That's pretty damn good. Yeah. Pretty damn good. A bit of water while waiting. Sorry, we didn't actually have anything really planned. We weren't going to talk about conspiracy theories.
Well, we still might.
Yeah.
Some of the nutters I saw today on conspiracy. It's just stuff that. What was one of them? Hitler's living on the moon.
Hey, what? When? Why?
He just
Hitler's living on the moon.
Hitler's living on the moon. He didn't actually commit suicide in a bunker in Berlin. He and a load of his generals escaped in a spacecraft, and they're living on the dark side of the moon. And when the Apollo missions were orbiting, and they could see structures, they were Nazi structures.
My head hurts. My head hurts. What? So how do they deal with the solar radiation? How are they dealing with gravity? How would it be 130 now, wouldn't he? 140? Oh, my goodness me.
I didn't come up with it. I don't know. Just stuff.
I saw Rick Mal and Stephen Fry obtaining some showbiz powder in Cafe Rouge Guildford once. Oh dear, some showbiz powder. Stephen Fry. I turned around and they had both left around a quarter pint of whiskey each and drank them both. Friday Night Live with the Dangerous Brothers was groundbreaking. And Kevin Turvey. Remember Kevin Turvey? That was his first sort of real exposure to TV on, I think it was the Oxford Road Show, about 81. Rick Mail, yeah. Gravity Boots, yeah. That's bizarre. Hitler on the Moon. That's the title of a song or an album, isn't it? Hitler on the Moon.
Yep. Some of the others included the Titanic didn't actually sink. It was the Olympic that sank, and they just put different stickers on it.
Different stickers on it. Shit in egg.
Paul McCartney died in.
Oh, yeah. And replaced, wasn't he?
And he was replaced by a look-alike and sound-alike and act-alike. And, yeah. And my favourite actually was Queen Elizabeth was a boy. Queen Elizabeth I
Was a boy.
was killed and replaced by a lookalike boy.
We know that Henry VIII wanted a son.
Yeah. So
But where-
stuff. Yeah, it's really cool stuff, actually. I mean, I thought that some of the other conspiracy theories, some of the more, you know, the better known ones, like the Queen being a lizard and 9/11 and Princess Diana's death and the moon landings, I thought they were kind of out there. But there are some really cool ones out there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I support a few conspiracy theories. I don't really like the word conspiracy.
Give it a go.
Oh, here we go.
No, but
Let's bring back.
nice ready, hopefully.
Let's bring back the lovely Nath. Yay!
Can you hear
That's
me?
better, Nath.
You can see me. Can you hear me?
Oh yes.
Yeah, all perfect.
Yay, thank God for that.
I can see, and you've got your dream weavers in the background. I see.
Yeah, they're not mine.
All right.
We're not talking about bottoms anymore in the show, so you don't have to worry
I might
about
as well turn it off now then.
You can do it you want, mate. You're the guest. We'll follow your lead on that one. It's cool.
Oh, it's gonna be one of those nights.
Yeah.
So you are Nath. Last time you looked, anyway. You're Nath, and you you actually run the Uprising group on Facebook along with your lovely wife Luna.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you do it? Why that group? Why do you run it in the way you do compared to the other groups, which seem to be a shower of shit, as we all know?
Well, I'm in most of the other groups, and I saw so many people get really excited because they'd seen their first UFO or they'd seen their first something paranormal, and then they got shot down instantly by everybody. I mean, most of them were probably a balloon, or they were probably a helicopter or a drone. But there's got to be a nicer way than saying you're an idiot. It's obviously a drone. Why would you even post it? Like, there's got to be a nice way of saying this, because one day they may see a UFO. They're not going to share that footage with anyone.
Why was
because
somebody?
they're just going to get shot down, so they'll keep it to themselves.
But these paranormal groups, when they mention these things before your group was started, so or they're just general. I don't understand why someone would knock it down. If you're in a UFO group and you're telling your story, why would people just knock it down straight away?
Most of the comments on the groups, people are assuming that people have joined just to take the piss. They see UFO in the title and think, let's join here just to laugh at some crazy people. So I thought, most of these people, they haven't seen what they thought they saw, or they might not have seen what they thought they saw, but they've got to have a safe place, especially when it comes to paranormal stuff, because some people have had some really intense experiences that to them were very, very real.
Yeah.
And whether it was sleep paralysis, whether it was any of the other things we've discussed, they think it's real. To them, it's 100%. It happened. These things were there. They were terrified. To just have someone saying you're wrong, that's really disheartening. And I just assumed, I really felt these people needed somewhere to be able to share that. If you don't agree with it, you don't think they're right, or you think it was probably something else, either tell them that respectfully or just scroll past.
Yeah.
You don't have to shove your opinion down someone's throat.
And on the whole, it's working, isn't it, Nath? People said it wouldn't work. There's no way you'll be able to police it, but it is working. And the amount, if you guys, any of you guys listening, or you guys that are going to watch later on YouTube, if you get over to Nath's group and have a look, you'll see so many comments, people saying, it's such a safe place. I had this experience. I've never talked about it before for fear of ridicule. And they are actually healing. It affected them so deeply, such, this deep psychological thing that they experienced. And they've never been able to talk about it before. So it's a fantastic thing that you're doing, definitely.
If you bear 1 second, I'm going to find a link and I'm going to link your group to the chat.
What was that noise?
Paranormal?
Paranormal. If you need to discuss it, you can put it on the group if you like.
No, it was just I don't know what that was.
I'm going
to see something come flying at my head or something like that. But yeah,
as long as it doesn't start saying Gary.
yeah, I can deal with taps and bangs, but that was personal. Yeah. No, I didn't like that at all.
Terrifying.
Oh,
so yeah, Mark said that Uprising stood for something because it's like a acronym.
It does. You'll have to bear with me because I can't remember.
That's all right. I still don't know what the Z stands for in Z Planet. So
yeah, I mean anything. It's just Z.
Luna said earlier that she asked me, and I was like, I don't know.
No, I don't know either. We don't know. It's just cool.
There you go. I posted the link in the Facebook. Oh, what's happened to the link? Hold on. You should be able to shorten your Facebook address now as well because you've got over. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. It stands for UFO/UAP, Paranormal Research, Investigation, Sightings and Intelligence Group. It took me about 45 minutes to think of words that managed to make a word.
It's cool. Oh, I like it. I never thought to ask before. I just thought it was
I'm glad no one did. Yeah, I'm glad no one did because I forgot the second I made it.
Well, that's, you know.
Oh, it's well cool. That no, I'm well impressed by that, and it's a fantastic site from what we were saying from the standpoint that you can talk about whatever you want, and if people, I mean, there are things that go on there, Nath. You debunked one a week or so ago, and it was blatant, wasn't it? And
obvious fake.
I don't know whether he deliberately faked it or whether he cocked up taking a photo and added a filter by mistake, but he was convinced. But you do get it, and you do get the odd idiot on there, and bang, gone.
Usually they're talking about orbs.
Yeah.
No, we can talk about orbs. You know, we do that. You know, on the pages and that, and you just if people, for instance, put a thing, oh, look what I've caught, blah, 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 then I tend to just leave them to it.
Yeah.
But if it's ending in what do you guys think, then...
Yeah, then we'll give our opinion.
Yeah. It should all be discussion. But there are things, like someone said to me, recently, some things I think, can I say that? I think some things can be debunked. Everything's up for speculation in the paranormal field, but some things can be debunked. And I think orbs are one of them. I'm talking about orbs on camera here. It's been
to be fair, if someone had a video of an orb that looked nothing like, it'd have to look special for me to even assume that it wasn't just a bug or a moth or a very large piece of dust. Then I'll have a look. But any photographs that just happen to have an orb in it, no.
I will, as a filmmaker, I will go. I mean, I've got on video so many light anomalies, and I just miss every single one of them. I've got loads and loads and loads. Some of my early episodes of the Spiral Paranormal series, I did put them in because I thought, well, what's going on here? I only thought about that for about 2 minutes. But I've got them, and I just know how cameras work.
Yeah, I think that's one of the other points with why we made the group was it's all well and good shooting someone down and saying that's a balloon or that's a drone or that's a lens flare. Why? How? Back it up. Tell them why. If you know, because you know how cameras work, or you have seen a balloon of a similar shape, or what you know how it works, explain why they're wrong so they can learn from it so they don't keep making the same mistake.
I should have done that on that thread actually the other week. Done that, but I thought I really couldn't be bothered. I was just like,
I think the other problem is some people just don't want to listen. They've got their opinions, they've got their ideologies, and whatever you say, they're like, nope, completely closed-minded and won't listen.
That's like someone saying, well, God exists. Okay, prove it. I can't. Well, I don't believe you then. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that.
But that's like saying prove gravity exists.
Okay.
No. That is no gravity as what
As
we
a
think
force.
it is. We don't know what gravity is. We can feel its effects, yes, but we still don't know what it is. So that kind of thing, it's there's lots of things you can say that about. Just because, like, absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence, is it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So-
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I've used that phrase about 4 times this week.
It's true, isn't it,
Extraordinary
though?
claims require extraordinary evidence as well. It's another
Yeah.
good one I would like to use sometimes.
Yeah.
I just think you've got to stay open-minded to every possibility, because we don't know everything. We don't know about everything about physics. We don't know about this whole dimensional thing that's going on at the moment. Our understanding of dimensions, and every time I sort of tune into that, we're adding more and more. We're up to 10 dimensions at the moment, I think, aren't we?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Your brain can't process that. Mine can only process width, height, depth. It's just.
I struggle with those 3. I fall over everything every 5 minutes.
As a scientist recently said, he said, when you're in a dream state and you're dreaming, is that actually accessing other dimensions? Because you usually dream and it's very familiar but not familiar. And I thought that was quite fascinating, because you're sort of in that theta state.
Yeah, I think one of the most dangerous things we can do is assume we know everything. And so many, look, most scientists will tell you we know nothing about the universe.
No.
But people that don't really follow science, read into it, keep up to date with what the new discoveries and things, will tell you, oh, we know everything now. There's nothing else to discover. Like, no, that's wrong. That's really dangerous to think we know everything. Einstein found everything. We don't need to look at anything anymore. Like, Einstein found an explanation for what we can see and what we can measure. There could be 90% of the universe could be anything we can't see or measure, and would literally prove Einstein wrong, but we can't see it or measure it to prove him wrong.
That's right, exactly. We don't know. We know that the mathematics of the universe don't add up.
Yeah.
No,
we know that
there's not enough
forces involved. We know that doesn't add up as an equation. So we had to come up with something.
Dark energy and dark matter.
Yeah. We had to come up with that, and then we had to come up with a whole new series of anti-particles. The particles we know, and these dark particles. So we've got the theories we think we know, but and then you get things like black holes, Nath, don't you? Where just all the theories just break down.
Yeah,
and they
when things like black holes confuse even Stephen Hawking, who spends the last half of his career trying to find out what happens to light and information, both of which that shouldn't be destroyed, yet black holes destroy everything. What happens?
Yeah. And where's that go? Where's that going to? Where's the event horizon lead you to? Not that we'd be able to survive that, but they say light is the absolute speed limit. Well, it's not, because galaxies are moving away from each other, as we all know, and they're moving faster than the speed of light. That's why light can't. We will eventually not look out the night sky and see nothing.
Yeah,
as everything's expanding, but it might then interact again. We don't know. It's what's causing that. What is causing?
And then there's information along entangled particles. You can send information from one to the other faster than the speed of light as well.
Yeah, is that superposition? I think it's called. Yeah. Sorry, folks.
It's well, this basically, we're talking about this, and you're sitting there thinking, "Hang on, I thought this was a paranormal show," but somewhere along the line, the paranormal and science have got to do a David Brent.
Of course they have. Yeah,
got to do that. They've got to meet. And by maybe with our understanding of science, as our understanding grows, maybe our understanding of what's going on when we're seeing these things. And look, you can't get away from the fact, Dave, can you, that people are seeing something. Yes, a lot of it can be hallucinations, medical conditions, overactive imaginations, but not the mass reports where people have seen things. And I'm not talking about UFOs. We stick to like ghosts and spirits at the moment. People are seeing something, so there's got to be some kind of explanation behind that.
And
whether it is
how many people have seen the same thing?
Yeah,
Yes.
So, like, if multiple people have seen the same thing, we can't all have the same medical condition at exactly the same time.
Exactly. So what's going on?
There's got to be something there.
Yeah,
I'm very much interested in sort of double witness reports. If people see something, whether it's a UAP, ghost, whatever. But if you get 2 people or 3 or 4 people seeing the same thing, which has happened down in Wiltshire, once I get Rob on this show, we can talk all about this. That makes it absolutely fascinating.
Yeah,
and especially if you interview them individually, find out what's going on.
So what do you? Is a bit of a deep question, though. Why are some places more haunted than others? Because people have died everywhere, haven't they?
Yeah.
What
are they?
Well, there's you know, get certain locations, certain buildings that people will say that the activity there is incredible, where other places are just flat. I mean,
how many places have you been in, guys, where they have said that, and you go and you've been there a few times, and it's as flat as a pancake, but it's supposed to be the most active haunted area ever, and it's been nothing.
Yeah, I think it's
ramming.
The whole thing's a minefield full of people claiming to be haunted to get people to do ghost tours so they can earn some money, because the building looks a bit spooky.
Yeah,
there's actually nothing there.
I still stick on my gun. Living anywhere's haunted.
No, and like we've said before, there's so many people whose houses have had so much activity, yet you wouldn't want to go and do a ghost hunt in someone's house.
No.
And
you would, but you wouldn't at the same time.
Yeah, and then like we've covered before, there could be spirits walking down the street. And
I've been saying that all along. Yeah, absolutely.
But you wouldn't necessarily notice, because if you walk past someone in the street, you think, oh, there's just a person in the street. Someone that you don't live with walks past you in your kitchen, you notice. That's a bit weird. You see someone in an abandoned building that shouldn't be there. Is it paranormal? It's a lot easier to see strange things in places there shouldn't be anybody. But so I think a lot of it will come down to imagination in old, dark, dusty places. It
is. So a bit of education is needed from that, trying to educate people what can happen rather than. But just so you've been doing this a while, I take it. How many years have you been kind of into the paranormal?
UFOs and UAPs a long time, but I was more science, like very much that can't be real because science hasn't proved it yet. But then I started reading into more and more different, like, again, me and my rabbit holes, I got into quantum mechanics and consciousness, and then I ended up accidentally stumbling into exactly where Luna was anyway. I was like, hang on. Now all of my weird little science theories in my head just landed me exactly where you are, and now I think that there may be a way that science could actually prove that all of this does exist.
Yeah.
So I've been telling you that all along. I'm sorry.
Traumatic events that have happened in certain areas, that energy is so strong that it imprints there. Yeah, I also had that theory. I think I've said a few times. I think even like battlefields or asylums, which are a bit more recent, but that energy dissipates and decays after time. That's why you don't see, very rarely would you see a ghost of a Roman soldier. I think it's like what's it, out of a plane? The air vapor out of a plane, it dissipates over time. I think it decays over time, like most energy does. That's still there. I agree with some paranormal events are natural events that our limited understanding can't explain what Nate was just saying. Can't explain in terms of accepted science. I mean, it's good. There are scientists who are willing to sort of think outside the box, aren't there, Nate? Which is what we want, because just what you want validation. But it's very hard if you can't. I think I said this last week. If you can't put it in a test tube and measure it, how can you actually prove something?
It was like when quantum mechanics first became a thing, and Einstein, I think we've discussed before, Einstein really, really didn't like it.
Hated it, didn't he?
It didn't make any sense with everything that and it still doesn't make sense. No one's still put the two together yet. But once they did the famous double slit experiment, that seemed to show that consciousness plays a part in quantum mechanics, which then explains that consciousness itself can have an effect on things around it, which then started going into the spirituality and the ghosts and the paranormal. And Einstein went, nope, don't like that. And I think he had like 10, between 5 and 10 of his most famous scientist friends he could find, all sat in a room for 2 weeks and tried to debunk it. And when they couldn't, they just spent the rest of their career just shutting them down and saying, no, they were wrong.
What was that? Was a man saying my wife was right?
Damn, she's caught it on video too.
You've had it now, mate.
Edit that bit out. Edit that bit out.
Interdimensional energy exchange could play a part, maybe. Maybe it could. Yeah, these are all bright comments.
See, you can say what you want at the moment. You can come up with any theory you like.
Yeah, we got
a clue. Not got a clue.
Do you think, though, Nathan Gaz, that a lot of spiritual people hijack quantum physics, using that as, but quantum physics says, but they don't really understand quantum. Try and say to them, right, you explain to me the double slit experiment, and they'd fall over. It's hard. It's a hard concept. One of the most amazing experiments ever in modern science in the last 100 years is the double slit experiment. It blows my mind.
Do you want to explain to the listeners what the double slit experiment is?
We have a go. We have a go.
Right, you basically...
it's going to volunteer.
Right.
Guys can
if
do
you've
it.
got a particle cannon here on your shoulder, in the room down the way there, you've got a piece of card with 2 slits cut into it, narrow slits like that. And you fire these particles at the slits, they will make a pattern on the wall behind it. Now, if you're not looking at this pattern that is being made, they will make a certain pattern. If you are observing it, the pattern will change as if you are firing waves of particles at it. It's just the fact that it's being observed changes the pattern on the wall behind it. The way the particle behaves changes because you're looking at it, which makes absolutely no bloody sense.
No, or it's not physically us. It doesn't have to be us with our eyes staring. It could be a machine recording it as well.
Yeah,
it's absolutely mind blowing. The double slit experiment.
Just because it's being observed, it behaves differently. And it makes no sense. But
it shouldn't. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. There were so many thought experiments that came out of trying to disprove that it was the observing itself that had the effect. Like the Schrodinger's cat, that was literally made or thought up to prove it wrong. Yeah. But then there was so many people asking, what happens if someone's observing the observer? Does that make a difference? Which one observing it affects the experiment? It's so weird. But I think that there's a famous quote: "If you think you understand particle physics, you don't understand particle physics."
Particle wave duality depends how you choose and observe and measure it. It's both at the same time. Yeah. I mean,
you got the rabbit hole of string theory and all that attached to it, and how 2 particles can exist in opposite ends of the universe at exactly the same time and behave in exactly the same way.
Which means we are all connected.
If you affect one particle at one end of the universe, the particle at the other end of the universe will be affected instantaneously.
Yeah, faster than light. It's entanglement. You can get one particle spins one way and one spins the opposite way. If you make one spin the other way, the other one changes direction too.
Yeah.
Even though no one touched it, how it knows. But you could they could be the opposite sides of the universe and it'd happen instantly.
That just...
It's cool, isn't it?
Just think about that. Just stop and just think about that for a second. It's taken 14 billion years for light from the furthest stars to get here. 14 billion years over a distance that our minds can't comprehend. 2 particles at the same time can either react to each other at the same time. Across that 14 billion years.
I think if I remember rightly, they've only managed to test it over, is it like 2 miles, 3 miles? Because obviously there's lots of things in between. So they didn't want like buildings or anything. And obviously the earth isn't flat. So they've got to equate for the curvature of the earth, so that they didn't want anything to interrupt the signal. But it literally happened instantly every time they've tried it, regardless of distance.
And teleportation as well. They've done it. They've teleported a particle now as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Very small beginnings, but they're doing it.
Yeah, that's how I fell down the rabbit hole of consciousness and maybe the paranormal and things like this, because we don't understand what consciousness is. And obviously it may have an effect on quantum particles and things like that in a way we don't understand.
Yeah.
If consciousness itself is a particle that we don't understand, if it's entangled with another particle, the information that is your consciousness could be instantaneously moved anywhere in the universe. When your body dies, that particle stops. All the information that is you could become anywhere in the universe at any point, which is why most people, when they have a near-death experiment, see a bright white light. Yeah. Because most particles are inside stars, so they don't feel pain because they don't have a physical body. So they can't feel pain. They just feel peace and white light.
Some people say, yeah, it's interesting what you're saying there, because a lot of NDEs, near-death experiences, everyone's account is generally the beginning is quite the same. Everyone has almost the same. Might have different personal experiences, but the description is pretty much the same as you were saying. So yeah, I call it a rebirth. I don't like the word death. I say rebirth. Yeah. Use the word rebirth. I think just we're just passing through. I think. Consciousness is non-local. For
the sake of balance on that particular subject, people will say, but yeah, that's what is expected. That's what we're expected when we die to experience the tunnel with the light. So does our brain make that up?
Yes, I've heard that. Yeah. Could well be. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not.
I think I've heard the theory that that's literally just the last thing your eyes are seeing, because obviously that's where any light coming into your body or into your mind goes through your eyes. That's the last thing your eyes do when they give up. It looks like a tunnel and just gets brighter and bigger and bigger and brighter and brighter. And that's just your eyes giving up. So it could be what it is.
We'll find out one day, won't we? I mean,
but I think there is more. I mean, let's be frank. We're in Paranormal. I think there is probably going to be something else going on. I think generally we wouldn't be doing this interest in what we're interested in if we didn't think that. But we said it along. How do you prove it? You can't. We're going to find out one day. Yeah. There's no experiments.
I suppose it all comes down to the same thing as religion. You can't disprove it 100% until you die.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
an
atheist.
Say, I'm wrong.
I mean, I'm an atheist. People say, why are you interested in the paranormal if you're an atheist? I said, I don't know what religion has anything to do with spirits or ghosts. So they're totally. I think that's the old paradigm. Personally, I think that religion is the old paradigm. Spirituality, your own personal journey, is what it's all about, really. Yeah. If people are religious, that's fine. But I just think it's a man-made construct.
I think obviously the bones of religion is man-made construct to a point. When you think that every single culture, as far as I'm aware, around the world has some belief in a higher being or a place you go to when you die. It just isn't the end, and this can't be the human psyche's. That we can't think that when you die, that's the end. Our brain won't let us accept that. So if we come up with this thing, but what seems weird to me is that we've all come up with the same thing in essence. We die. There's this thing in charge, this supreme being in charge, and we all off we go to that. And every culture in the world has got some belief in some kind of God. So that does fascinate me.
I think it's something like. I mean, I like to use the word universal consciousness, the unified field. That's my little. But as a physical being, God. Yeah.
Yeah. Our theories that we just went through then are literally the same thing. We are trying to find ways to explain why and how, but we still have ideas of when we die, this happens and we live on, and it's exactly the same. We have the laws of physics as our God.
Yeah.
It's literally the same thing.
Yeah. So,
see, I worship the earth. Only one that makes sense to me. Yep, totally with you on that one. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
well, we're all part of it.
Yeah.
We're walking around, we're eating and breathing and all that, but we are part of this, and we will go back to this after this bit of us lets us down, and whatever makes us goes off somewhere else. The energy goes off somewhere else. So, yeah.
I could get onto grounding there, but that's a subject for something else.
Yeah, well, one thing we need to hope is that whatever makes us does go somewhere else. Because if it goes into the ground and becomes part of the grass and we get eaten by a cow, how many possessed cows are going to be walking around the fields with memories of being a human?
Well, I think the amount of bullshit that most people come out with, mate, it's proved that it can happen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Andrew, hello, Andrew. Didn't know you had a show tonight. We have a show every Sunday, sir. Didn't see any notice. Glad I found you anyway. Good to see Gaz back. Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew.
Croatia.
Good to see you in.
Yeah, we're always every Sunday, unless we're working.
So we've covered spirits and ghosties and that kind of thing. But the paranormal has got so many facets to it, as we know. And we know your thoughts are kind of the same as our thoughts on certain subjects. But for the sake of balance, and I've had a bit of stick over this, that we kind of pass off the flat earthers and make a bit of a joke. So I think we should actually mention flat earthers on this show. Okay? Okay, so
I know.
Okay, so it'll be mentioned.
I know they got supporters all around the globe.
Yep.
But
flat earth. So you don't subscribe to that, I take it, no, the flat earth.
No. No.
Motion and gravity, end of discussion.
Yeah, I won't even get into arguments with them because it's literally pointless.
Exactly. You can't.
I think they're doing it as a wind-up. They're doing it as a wind-up. They've got to be.
It's definitely pointless because if it was flat, it wouldn't have any points.
We wouldn't be here, for starters. Yeah. We'd be here for the next 3 hours.
It's common sense. I mean, it's been proved. I mean, I can go out there now and prove it. A Greek proved it thousands of years ago. That, you know what I mean? But anyway, so flat
the force
earthers.
of gravity does not make things flat in the celestial bodies. That's why we're generally a sphere, like all planets are and stars are. I think it's gravity and motion.
The best way to debunk flat earthers is to leave them to it, because flat earthers have accidentally proved the Earth's round more times than anyone else ever has.
Yeah. So what about hollow Earth? Have you looked into that, the hollow Earth theory?
No, not really.
No.
I think I've seen a lot about maybe there being another ocean beneath our ocean. So like under the bed, they reckon there's an even deeper ocean than our ocean that could maybe have life in it, because of where they think life started in the universe, from all the little undersea, like tiny little volcanoes that were spewing up things into the ocean. They think that's where life started. If it started that way in the ocean, it could have started the same way in that ocean. So maybe there's life there, but hollow Earth is in. There's no core and there's like aliens or something living down there.
I mean, if it's a hollow Earth, we wouldn't. How would a hollow Earth even? How would the planet form with a hollow Earth? We need a magnetic copper core. That's why we have our electromagnetic pole reversal called. Sorry,
and that's why we have a planet in the first place. Otherwise, we'd still be part of the freaking asteroid belt floating around.
In the Kuiper belt, in the asteroid belt.
We'd never have been formed in the first place, so it's
look at Mars. I mean, that's what happened to Mars, wasn't it? They say that the core solidified, cooled down, and the electromagnetic field that protects the atmosphere from the harmful effects of the sun it stopped, and so the atmosphere was kind of blown off. Well, not all of it, you know, but the best part of it was blown off.
Yeah,
I think
basically scorched off.
That's why we have an atmosphere, because the Earth is a sphere, and with the iron core, it's pushing our atmosphere together.
An atmosphere.
An atmosphere.
But no, we know we can see the effects of magma displacement and plate tectonics and things like that every day. You know, earthquakes, volcanoes, that kind of stuff. We know what's under there. It comes up as magma.
Maybe earthquakes are just whatever's living at the bottom banging on the ceiling, telling us to be quiet.
Yeah,
It's a theory, mate. Yeah,
at the Reading and Leeds Festival, be quiet.
But yeah, it does kind of bug me. These people have these theories without any understanding of physics or checkable results or anything like that. But
I always assumed that the hollow Earth and the flat Earth was the same as. Have either of you seen the theory that all pigeons were replaced by cameras?
No,
yeah,
what?
They're all drones, apparently.
Yeah, all pigeons are drones. Yeah. Apparently, they're all government-controlled drones to spy on everybody. And I assume
we've got mobile phones for that.
I'm hoping that it was obviously a piss take. They didn't, you know, they're not serious. But I think the flat Earth and the hollow Earth started off the same. It's kind of let's see how many people believe this, and it snowballed. Well, snow flat can't be a snowball.
No flatted,
and became this weird thing that now scientists are having to go, no, we proved that a long time ago. It's not flat or hollow, and pigeons are birds.
But their followers are growing, and it's scary. It scares me to death.
Yeah, that's what scares more than anything.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that people will happily read a headline on something like Facebook or Twitter, or won't bother reading anything into it, and we'll just that must be right. I read it on Facebook, or that must be right. I saw it on YouTube, or that must be right because so and so tweeted it.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants to put any effort in.
No, probably lots of underground tunnels and military bases. Well, there are, but not hollow Earth. No, yeah, you're absolutely right there, Pauline. Yeah, there's a lot of underground bases around that we don't know about.
Shall we change the subject or what? Because I don't like giving these people airtime because they're nutters. And I mean, some of my theories are out there, but just gives me absolutely. I've got bad belly as it is, you know, and it makes it worse.
So Rick must be a great one. They must be millennials.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Cracks me up. So your chief love is UFOs, Nath?
Yeah,
I take it that's what really floats your boat. And does that interest come from an experience that you had, or it's just something that you kind of fell into?
I think I've seen a few strange. I haven't seen anywhere near as ridiculous and crazy as some people have seen. I'm really jealous of some of the amazing sightings that people have had. Mm-hmm. One of our other admin, James, he saw a huge, I'm trying to remember it rightly, a huge black rectangle floating right above his head when he still lived in Scotland. Right. And the way he describes it, like the things I've seen are nothing compared to things like that. So I spend most of my nights just staring up, hoping one day something's just going to float over my head. But I think,
I mean, my two experiences, I'm not going to go into now, but I did a video about them. I think I posted it in your group. You know, and also at least when you're not expecting it to happen.
Yeah. I think the most thing I've seen, we've all seen satellites and we've all sat there and watched them. I've had people messaging me with videos of satellites and stuff, but they didn't go in a straight line. Like, again, the Earth's round. They won't go in a straight line because they're really high up. They will look like they go in a straight line.
Or they're seeing the ISS go overhead and yeah.
But I've witnessed
paranormal can be explained. Yeah.
I've witnessed hundreds of satellites that we sit and watch, move along, and they stop dead in the sky, and then move this way, then that way, then this way, and then they speed up, they stop, they slow down.
One of my ones. Yeah.
what the hell is that? Not
We shouldn't be doing that.
Satellites just orbit. They can't, they can control their movements a bit, but the amount of fuel they have, they run out of fuel quite quickly if they use it too much. There's no way that the speeds they're traveling at in orbit that they could just stop dead.
Well, what's orbital speed? About 18,000 miles an hour, isn't it?
Yeah,
something
about
like that. To
the ISS is going. What's the ISS? That's 17,000 miles per hour, I think.
Something like that, isn't it? Yeah.
So like,
I can't never get my head around that one.
But they don't stop dead and change direction, do they?
Like, that's what they've said. Even if something, I think it's like 5 times the size of a speck of dust hit a window on the space station, it'd smash it. So you imagine if something stopped it dead, there'd be nothing left of it. Yeah, there'd be nothing left. So it's the same as a lot of these UAPs, because we don't say UFO anymore because we don't want to confuse the US military with tinfoil hat wearing crazy people like me. So they're UAPs now, but they've been seen doing, I think, I'm trying to get the numbers right, I've read so many different things, especially in the last few months with the UAP thing. My mind's just been blown with some of it, but it's like 700G, which is ridiculous speeds, and then stopping instantly. And they can move that fast without a sonic boom, so they're easily breaking the sound barrier without a sonic boom.
My ones are very fast. One was hovering. I was in my garden. I was having a cigarette back when I smoked, and it went. It was hovering in the sky for about 2 minutes. Well, I was like, absolutely, what the hell is that? I thought.
And again, if we had a jet that could go that far or that fast, you'd hear it. The sound it'd have to make to be able to go that fast would be ridiculous.
Yeah, it would.
It'd be ripping. Like some of these UFOs are going that fast from hovering over the top of a house. Like if a jet flew off at 700G above it, it'd rip half the roof off the house with it.
Oh yeah.
But these things they're not even heating up because the US military have got like radar footage and cameras from all their warships and stuff, and they've got them on infrared, and they're ice cold while doing 700G. How are they not heating up?
And same underwater as well, Nate.
Yeah,
as well, aren't they?
How can you can't do 700G underwater? That's impossible, but they're doing it. So there's got to be
some kind of force field around them that stops the actual craft interacting with the environment around it, the air around it, to stop that pressure wave, that friction build up.
As you say, Gaz, that's a very good point. It could be, I'm going quite a bit of Star Trek here, a static warp bubble for all we know.
Yeah, I mean, the most amazing thing is obviously if they've got something going 700G in the air, and then they've got something 700G in the water, they're both amazing. But they've seen something going that speed from the air into the water and then disappearing.
Yes, footage.
If you did 700G,
that footage is amazing.
If you did 700G into water, you'd be obliterated.
Yeah.
I've seen
it's like a brick wall, isn't it?
Yeah, I've seen experiments that said if you ever did a parachute jump and your parachute doesn't work and you've got the choice of landing on concrete or water, aim for the concrete, it'll hurt less. Right, because it's literally like hitting, harder than concrete, and these things just put straight in, flat, not even like they've got a perfect point. They're just, how are these things working?
There's got to be some kind of inertial damper there. They've got inertial damper technology because, like you say, not only the acceleration, it's the turns that they make, these 90-degree turns, and those that footage that came to light recently that the US Navy released. They said, okay, it's not so much the speed they're going, it's the way they're maneuvering. There's no way we have got craft that can maneuver like that. It's just impossible.
So they were saying they were following one, and every time it just did a 90-degree turn and moved, it took them like 3 towns to turn around to come back to try and chase it. Yeah, and this thing was just ridiculous. That's why they've never caught one.
So they
just can't keep up.
So a lot of people were disappointed with that report, weren't they, Nath? But I think those are the people that didn't read between the lines.
There was a lot of reading between the lines in that.
Well, we sort of came to the conclusion, yes, the US government are full of shit, and yes, the British government are full of shit. They're not telling us what they know. But what they did actually tell us was, before, it was, you're all imagining stuff, and it's swamp gas, and it's weather balloons, and it's the light bouncing off the ocean from Uranus
or Venus.
Or Venus, Well, what they actually said was, no, these are craft, and they are real, and we don't know what they are. Whether you believe whether they know what they are is up for debate, but they are admitting they exist, which is a massive thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Massive thing.
I thought it'd be more of a game changer than it was.
Yeah,
no, because we've been desensitized.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like they declared that UFOs were real last year when the Pentagon released the footage that had already leaked and said this is real footage. UFOs are real, and nobody cared. No one was bothered. The Pentagon officially announced that UFOs are real, and no one batted an eyelid.
I just couldn't believe that.
It was ridiculous.
We've been hearing about it for years, and everybody subconsciously knows that there is something going on.
Yeah.
Or is it just the vast majority? Oh, look, Love Island's on ITV2. I'd rather watch that. People are just in their own little world. They're not looking at the bigger picture. And they're, it's not much. I know a lot of people like that. Oh, I get home, they say. They get home and say, what do you do? I'll just watch a bit of crap TV. You watched a bit of crap TV. Why didn't I don't know. I have a weird feeling about that. Why do you, if you're going to put something on,
what's actually happened? I think what's happened is people have as our understanding of science and the universe has grown, it's kind of more mainstream. That knowledge is more mainstream than maybe it was, say, 40 odd years ago. So people are a little bit more in tune with the galaxy they live in and the universe they live in than maybe they was. So if you say to 100 random people out on the street now, do you think we're alone in the universe? Well, I'd like to think that majority of them are going to say, no, of course we're not alone. The amount of stars that are out there. So to actually get the news that we might have been contacted by them isn't the massive thing it would have been 40, 50 years ago. So people, it's kind of matter of fact information now. We've got our strong suspicions. We just need that government to say, well, actually, but which I don't think they can do, because they've got to admit that they've been lying to us since Roswell, at least. Yeah. Perhaps before that. So
that's my theory.
Before you carry on, because I've got to try and keep up with the comments as well here. Sorry, Nath, beg your pardon. There are 3 types of normal. Normal, whatever that is, paranormal and subnormal. As far as I'm aware, there are no categories regarding new or old. Nice one, Rick. Nice one. Sorry, Nath.
That's my theory of why they changed UFO to UAP. So now it's a new thing. So they we don't know what UAPs are. And then when they do release any information, it's about a UAP, not the UFOs of the last 100 years. Yeah. So they don't have to tell us any of that. That's UFOs, that's crazy crackpot stuff. But UAPs are a thing. And they're the same thing, but they change the way people are thinking. Like, oh, have you heard this thing about UAPs? Like, so UFOs then.
Thank you. I never thought of it like that. That's interesting.
They're no longer aliens either, are they?
Yeah. I think they I think we've been under the generally, I say we, like most people into UFOs and stuff, have been under the impression that we're slowly being drip fed and they're getting the general population ready, because we ran out of toilet paper last year because there was a virus going around. Everyone panicked. The world went mad because a few people started sneezing. I know it got worse, and it's a bad thing. but it got bad in supermarkets and panic buying before COVID got bad and spread around the world.
Yeah.
So just that sent people crazy. So they need it to be, like Gaz was saying, they need it to be not a shock when they tell everybody. They need people like the people at the Vatican to have an answer ready. So it's not shocking to
Which
the
they
90%
kind
of the world
of
that's
did,
religious. Yeah.
They kind of said it, didn't they? We are willing to believe the idea of other creatures in our galaxy, you know, but whatever it is was created by God. So they've got that out there already.
Yeah.
They said
they've already started. I think that's why they've got NASA telling people there might be life on this planet, there might be life on this moon, life could be everywhere. So when they say we found life on Mars, which is what they're looking for now, or we found life on Enceladus, then alien life is this little tiny microbe that doesn't do anything. But now we know there's alien life, and then we'll find something a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, and then we found a signal from another planet, and then eventually they could say we've found a civilization on another planet, and it's not, oh my God, that's crazy. It's, oh, so you finally did it then.
Yeah.
But this information was leaked early from about all the military sightings of the UAPs, so they had to do something in public to say, we're looking into it. We've got everyone in Congress looking into it, and then we've released a report, and now leave it alone, let it go away, and then we'll go back to doing what we were doing in the first place.
Well, I think the biggest kick up the arse for this movement and any other movement was the invention of the internet and camera phone, because everyone's walking around with it and everybody's in touch just like that now, you know. So they had to come up with something, didn't they? They've had to do something, and I think their hand was kind of forced, because at the same time all these people started coming up. Well, they're like terminally ill, and they used to work for the Navy, and they used to work at these installations, and they're all coming forward and saying exactly the same thing. So it's fascinating times we live in, and I think something is going to be, and I'm not talking 20, 30 years, I think something quite soon, something big is going to happen soon. I hope so. Anyway.
Before then, I still can't quite get my head around this. I'll try and explain this as best I can. I think I've explained, tried to speak on the show before. We're talking about sort of phenomena, UAPs we see, interdimensional beings, whatever you want to call it. The universe is vast, vast. There could be advanced civilizations in a galaxy billions of light years away, okay, or millions of light years away. We can have no knowledge of that existence. That civilization could have died out millions of years ago. Or as Nate said, on some of these places, they might be little microbes, you know. Yeah. But human ego, the things that are all coming to us. Do you understand what I'm saying? Well, I'm not explaining myself very much. We're constantly, as human beings, thinking of our little neck of the woods and not the whole picture. You know, we're part of the Virgo supercluster. There's millions and millions of light years across. But we're just thinking always in our little local area. It's like people who've never been out of their village. You know, we need to expand our horizons a little bit, I think. Maybe that's a bit slightly off topic.
Yeah, I think that does make a lot of sense, especially with trying to understand the distances that some of, you know, obviously if a civilization was coming here, the distances they'd have to cross.
Yeah.
With our technology, they'd literally be on the journey here for millions. If they were coming from anything that wasn't inside the Virgo supercluster, they'd never make it.
No,
we're getting
even Andromeda and nearest galaxy was take a couple of millions, 100,000 years to get here.
From just if they're not inside our local group of galaxies, we're moving away from the other galaxies so much faster than they could travel. They'd just end up in empty space. They'd never get out of it.
The galaxies are moving apart faster than the speed of light. That's why I think people are saying interdimensional.
Yeah, I think that's where I ended again. Another rabbit hole. I fell down and thought, hang on, that solves that problem. Because otherwise, you've got to start going into like fancy sci-fi technology like warp drives, and I mean, to be fair, from what I can remember that I've looked into, warp drives physically possible, but the technology behind them would be ridiculous. And there's the problems of, if you get some form of faster than light travel, you'd have to know everything between point A and point B in case you accidentally went through a planet. Because if you and your little spaceship accidentally flew through a planet that wasn't orbiting a star, so you couldn't see it, you'd obliterate it and everyone inside your ship, because you've just smashed into a planet at the speed of light.
It's like these things like Roswell, you know. I always find it, I do actually quite laugh at it, these advanced alien craft, but they crashed. How did they crashed? I just find that really advanced civilization, if it's interdimensional or what, but they happen to crash with their technology. They've come all this way, but they crashed.
Yeah, an argument against that is, you imagine someone 400-500 years ago, their technology compared to ours, they'd be like, oh my god, the technology, they're so much more advanced than us. And they look at like Tesla's cars driving themselves and think, what the hell is that? That's amazing. But they crash. Look, so they could still be so much more advanced than us. They can still go wrong. How many times people
I've been a bit of a niddle with me, that one.
Yeah, it's always a possibility. It's not like they're crashing every 5 minutes.
No, of course not.
One or two crashes.
And I love the way the craft sort of look. Maybe that's how the design of the craft always is relevant to the time they've been observed, like the flying discs and all that kind of thing. We are programmed through school to think in a very limited way. Oh yes, in a kind of sun goes round the earth-centric manner. Yeah,
but maybe all the UFOs were a bit like the TARDIS, before it broke, and they were meant to kind of look like something from the times so they could blend in.
Poor old TARDIS, but it is an old Type 40. Sorry, Doctor Who fan here.
I live with a Doctor Who fan, so I've seen a lot of Doctor Who.
Well, Luna, been a fan for years.
No,
I've even been in it.
Luna's eldest, the Doctor Who fan, is crazy on it. So
thank you, Pauline.
Tell him
I was going to mention the Einstein-Rosen bridge, because we just don't know.
Hi, Pauline. Hi, Fiona. Thank you for joining us.
Pauline is.
Would aliens use wormholes travel to space?
Wormholes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, guys, bring in your opinion on wormholes. That's a fascinating thing.
Well, it's something that's been put forward. And don't forget, we're thinking about these distances, and we can't even get our heads around the way that these spaceships are zigzagging with 700 G, like Nath was saying. So we've got to assume that these races that are 1,000 years ahead of us, what could we accomplish in another 1,000 years? Where are we going to be in 1,000 years?
Well, look how much
maybe they figured it out. Maybe they figured out how to get.
Yeah,
exactly. So maybe they figured out how to do fast and light travel. Perhaps Einstein was wrong.
Like we said at the beginning, there's so much of science we don't understand, and so much of physics we don't understand, and that we're only one discovery away from completely proving Einstein's theory completely wrong. If they've made that discovery, everything we think that that's impossible, is it, or is that just our understanding of physics?
Here's a little. Just think how advanced we progressed with technology. 1903, the Wright brothers flew for the very first time, first powered flight. Just 57 years later, we put man on the moon. That's equivalent of now going back in time to when the Beatles started. How often happened in another 60 years, especially with the growth of the internet and things like that. Anything paranormal going on tonight? Well, yes, it's a paranormal show, but we're talking about science at the moment and UAPs.
Yeah, and we had Gaz's weird sound beyond him. That was a bit paranormal.
Yeah, had a weird sound from Gaz.
That was a bit weird. Made me jump. I think what it was a oven tray cooling down and just pinging.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it was, but it certainly made me jump anyway. But yeah, we're talking, Dean. If you've not been listening to the rest of the show tonight, we're trying to balance the correlation between what's paranormal and what's science, and somewhere they've got to meet in the middle. You know, if just taking it for granted that ghosts and spirits, for instance, aren't all a product of our mind and we're imagining it, then people are experiencing something. So supernatural at some point has got to become natural. It's got to be explainable by science. So where is that point where, you know, and are things like string theory and quantum mechanics, all that kind of stuff, is that going to explain it? You know, because like we said earlier, Einstein didn't like it. But then Einstein died trying to prove the unified theory. He died trying to prove, Nath, is it unified theory? Oh, merch.
Brilliant, thank you.
So yeah, somewhere along the line, this has all got to it's all got to gel together.
Yeah.
And that's
didn't
what
Einstein start to come around to quantum theory towards the end of his life?
I think he did, because when it first became a thing, I think he just assumed it'd go away.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah.
When it didn't, and it kept kind of getting momentum and people were proving it more and more right, he was like, oh, okay, I kind of might have to start talking about this a bit more now.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when he claimed to have found a theory that explained the entire universe, and then someone split open an atom and went, all right, then explain that. He's like, I can't.
Yeah.
So he had to start trying to talk about it somehow.
So yeah, I think he was well ahead of his time, wasn't he? But it makes, like Stephen Hawking, same. You know,
Carl Sagan, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Sean Carroll, you know, amazing people. But real thinkers like Max Planck, you know, Edwin Hubble, real visionaries. You know, some of them just discovered these things by chance, like Edwin Hubble. You know, just observing the universe in California, observing the galaxy, and then suddenly saying, "Oh, what's it?" Which we now know is redshift, which we're not the only galaxy. To me, that's one of the most momentous changes in human history, when we discover we are not one galaxy, we are part of a multi-galaxy universe. To me, that's such a significant moment. Was that 1924, something like that? Yeah.
I think one of my favourite discoveries to do with the universe was, there was a woman I can never remember her name. I'm really, really bad with names, dates, anything. I'll remember all the information, but the specific bits. But she's working for NASA, and she'd been doing this really high profile job, and she really didn't like it. So she asked them for the most boring job possible. So they gave her a tiny office on her own, and she was just looking at pictures of galaxies. And that's all she had to do, just categorize it, look at it, label it. And then she accidentally discovered that the stars on the inside of the galaxy closest to the black hole weren't orbiting any faster than the stars on the outside of the galaxy. Would you think closer to the source of gravity, the black hole, they'd be going faster? But they weren't. Yeah. And our understanding of science meant they would be going slower on the outside. So she's like, hang on, I need to show someone this. And then accidentally discovered like dark matter or dark energy, whichever one it was. And was like, oh, no.
I think that's the lady at Jodrell Bank. I think she's still alive. Yeah. Jodrell Bank, I think that was. It was the UK Observatory. Yeah. I remember seeing a documentary about it. I've seen a lot of strange stuff, ghosts and paranormal activity that would make your hair stand on end.
You'd have a job.
You're very lucky then. You're very lucky. It would make it. Wow. Okay, tell us about that sometime. Einstein Gala.
It kind of it goes against what.
Yes, I like Andy.
It kind of goes against what your brain would imagine the galaxy, because I've always likened the galaxy as water going down a plug hole.
That's what,
you know, with a black hole in the center.
Yeah.
Sorry, finish off. Sorry, mate. Sorry, carry on.
The fact that, like Hurricane we was talking about earlier, you know, the closer you get to the eye, the faster it moves. So the fact that it's all spinning at the same speed from the center, you know, it's just mind blowing, isn't it? So
Dean's really good comment. It's what I say. Funny, Dean, you saying this is what I say when people say, "Do you think there's life on other worlds?" There's got to be life on other planets. If Earth is here, so are others. I believe. Basically, I say the same thing. Like, well, the very fact that we exist means it's got to exist somewhere else as well.
Yeah.
You know, there is the lone the was it the lone Earth hypothesis? But even most scientists say, the chances are so. You know, is it the Drake equation, which we discussed before? The very fact that we exist must be. I mean, we've had about 4 or 5 extinctions along the way.
If we look at the arguments against life being here from somewhere else, the arguments against UFOs, blah blah blah, is usually the distance will be so far, and the time that the universe or the galaxy's been here. Chances are that there has been other civilizations, but they probably died out a long time ago, things like that. And that's the answer to the Fermi paradox of where is everybody? That there was life, but it's not here anymore, and then the next lot of life won't be here until long after we're gone. But I think that obviously in this galaxy that may be the case, but if there is civilizations out there more advanced than us, which if the universe is infinite, if it's made life once, it's got to have made life at least twice. So
good point.
If it's infinite, then an infinite number of things have happened. There'll be an infinite amount of planets that have life on them. If enough of them have discovered whatever it is about science we haven't discovered yet, that means that you can travel across galaxies, the universe, easily without trouble, then there could be any number of civilizations interacting with anywhere in the universe at any given point.
I'm going to read this from Pauline. Slightly off topic, different subject. Do you guys know anything about Nikola Tesla's discovery of the 432 hertz frequency and vibration? Yes, I meditate to it. Yes, I do know. Yeah, it's amazing vibration. That it's like the Schumann resonance, which is the vibration of the Earth. Try meditating to that if you've got headphones on. Whoa! So it's a good name for a band. But you know, it's once again with Natho beautifully puts us down, and you know, so many rabbit holes as we chat. It's lovely. But that's what it's all about, isn't it? That's what it's all about.
I tend to think that life is far more common than we actually understand.
They say actually a lot of scientists say actually it's quite easy for life to spring up.
Well,
and
if you go,
millions of species we've got on this planet alone, it's interesting we're the only ones with real conscious thought. Although animals are conscious, of course, but I think therefore I am, Descartes and all that. But we're the only species that has conscious thought, apart from Neanderthals and a few other sort of early human ancestors. It's I always find that quite interesting.
Did you read? I can't remember who it was now. There was a theory someone put forward as to why we evolved the ability to have conscious thought and why our brains got as big as they did.
That's the one I know of along those lines. Is someone I've followed for years, is Graham Hancock, who he reckons about 200,000 years ago, 150,000 years ago, because he thinks civilization is much older than our accepted belief, like Göbekli Tepe and all those kind of places. But he says hallucinogenics and plant medicine had a lot to do with that, where they discovered these things that have that sort of prompt, like an explosion in our consciousness. Maybe linked into being non-local, linked into the unified field. All right, I'm going a bit fantasy here, but this is just a theory. So there was an explosion. Suddenly we were 200,000 years ago. Bomb, modern humans.
Yeah, I think we had the theory I read was once we evolved to the point that we didn't have to worry about predators so much, that I think they reckon that the species the closest to us that's still alive now, thought-wise, brain capacity-wise, is the orangutan, and they also have the best sleep because they make their nests, they know they're safe, and they're able to sleep for longer without waking every 5 minutes thinking they're going to be eaten. So once we got to the point that we were able to sleep without fear of predators, our brains were able to take all of that, all the energy they were putting into keeping us alive. They were able to put that into other things. So that's how we evolved the ability to have deeper thoughts, because we didn't need to be worried about being eaten every 5 minutes.
That flight or fight mode we're constantly in. That's why I meditate, to get out of there. That's fascinating. Yeah.
So I think that's why orangutans are just behind us with thought power and brain processing power, because they've evolved the same thing.
Yeah, more likely psychedelics and alien breeding. Yeah. Who watches Ancient Aliens just for a good laugh, if anything? Some of it's fascinating, but they really are a bit desperate in trying to put their theories across.
Yeah, I'll wait until someone sends me a specific clip. I'll watch that, but I won't sit and watch an episode. I tried.
I'll watch it for a good laugh. I'll watch it for a good laugh. It must be aliens. It must be aliens. How did this get here? It must be aliens. Oh, but yeah. There's some good stuff on there. There is some good stuff on Discovery Channel. But I'm always, anything that's I watch on TV, you've got to have a healthy dose of skepticism, because they're TV shows. Yeah, things have got to happen. You can't have nothing. It'll be boring otherwise.
When it comes to TV and the paranormal, Blaze TV channel, really good. They've got a lot of UFO stuff, a lot of paranormal stuff. It's pretty good.
I can't watch paranormal ghost shows though, or anything. I can't.
I watch what was it? Paranormal Court on tape, usually, so I can sit and debunk some of the videos. I like to sit there and be like, "That's just this, that's just that," and every now and again go, "I don't know what that was. That was creepy."
It's 22. I'm going to wrap up soon, I think. This is one to go. Nath, would you come on the show again?
Yeah. It's like now I know what I need to use so I can actually talk. Then
there's a nice three-way going on here. We're all sort of like-minded individuals here, as is the lovely people in our chat room. The new American Horror Story series is mentioning aliens. I've not seen that. I don't watch a lot of TV, unfortunately.
We think it's going aliens and sirens, so mermaids. So we do a little bit of cryptid too.
Cryptid, yeah. I can never pronounce it.
Yeah. Cryptozoology. I'm doing some research on a sighting in Scotland, like a really old sighting of an island in Scotland about a mermaid that they reckon was buried on a beach somewhere.
Oh, right, okay. That'd be interesting. Fast Show Colin Hunt. I'm an alien. Hello, I'm Colin Hunt from the Fast Show, yeah. Oh, suits you, sir. Oh! If I get a webcam, I'll join you guys. Please, Dean. Yeah, I'd love to hear your stories. That would be really interesting. Yeah, well, let me know through Facebook, and we'll get you on. Be interesting to know. Thank you, mate. That'd be great. That's what we said before. If you come on the show as well, if you've got a webcam, want to come on and talk to us, please do. I can have up to 6 people, I think, on the chat. We don't want to make it too crowded.
First.
Yeah. We don't want too many people on. We don't want to sort of talk over it. Sometimes we talk over each other, which always sounds really rude. It's not meant to be. But I'm also myself. I'm trying to read the comments at the same time, show comments, so we can build up a good discussion. So, anything else you guys want to add this evening as a conclusion? Don't put us down another rabbit hole, you guys.
I just want to thank Nath for coming on the show, taking the time to come and talk to us, mate. Thank you very much for that. And keep up the good work you're doing with the page.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I love it. It's one of the few groups I actually go into and read.
Yeah, and thanks both of you for the help, Mark, keeping off the crazy orb people.
Crazy orb people. I know I shouldn't have commented. I should, and my comment was #orbs are not paranormal. I knew it was, but most people agree with me, so it's fine.
Yeah, I think there was only one. There was only one that didn't, but there's always one.
Was like, oh my! I felt like I was in a time warp. I really did. I did.
I came to the comment section with my popcorn, waiting because Gaz let me know. Was that Mark's commented on the orb thing? I was like, oh, here we go. Let's see how this goes.
Oh gosh. Well, Mark knows me. You have met. Yeah. Of course you have, Dean. Yeah. I know you. Yeah. We'll get you on. That'd be really cool. Really interesting. I'd like to hear your stories. I'm always interested in hearing people's stories.
Yeah, so saying thanks to Gaz as well for all the trying to keep me sane in the
You're all right, mate.
a little group chat that we keep just to rant about the crazies and the angry people and the people that we have to kick out. And we try and keep it diplomatic. We vote anyone we have to kick out. We vote on it.
Thank you, Pauline.
Thanks.
Yeah,
thank you, Pauline. It's lovely. Thank you very much.
It's great to see, mate, and I think you're going to be at that next milestone with members quite soon.
It keeps going. It's shocking.
It's mad.
Our group's not growing at all. It's not growing at all.
Yeah, we're an acquired taste, though. We are.
Yeah. I might delete it. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah. To be fair, you made it worse. You got me on. You'll be scaring people off now.
No way, mate. It'll jump there. It'll go crazy now.
The light flying off my head, a beacon scaring people away. Got the bat signal. Maybe it'll attract them. I'll just draw something on next time. Get the Z Planet logo on there.
That's it, mate.
Hopefully one day we can all. I mean, I was saying this is Gaz. The guy's not that far away from me. We can all be in the same studio together. You know, which is ideal.
Well, we obviously when we first started the group, we had the idea of the little camp next year at Rendlesham, but now there's nearly 1,000 people. I'm not inviting everybody.
No.
I don't. They'd kick us off very quickly if 1,000 people turned up. So it'll be invite only. But you guys are definitely more than welcome. And I think you said last time we mentioned it that you might do a live stream from there, so that'd be really cool as well.
Because my friend Rob, he's done a lot of work at Rendlesham. He's been there a few times, done sleepovers. He's very much into UAPs, like we are. I'll let him know that. That'd be fascinating. That'll be fascinating.
So I'll have a look into obviously what kind of numbers that we will be able to. To be fair, if they say you're only allowed 10 people in a group, I'll just tell people when we're going and what day and what time, and they can book their own groups.
Yeah,
that's it. Right. It's not going to be a problem, but I just don't want to flood it with 1,000 people.
No, of course not.
That'd be a few too many.
Mm-hmm.
But a few select people, because obviously we don't want you bumping into your little orb friend either.
Mate, I've
got a bone to pick with you. Ah, damn it.
Oh, bugger. Right, go on. Give us your best shot.
That would be cool. I really look forward to that.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah.
Before we go, Nate, when I end the screen, just stay there. You with Gaz, just so I can probably say goodbye. We can. That'd be great. So, anything else you want to add, guys?
No, just thanks for the guys in the chat for contributing. You always do. You always help to make the show really cool. So thank you for that. And we'll come up with a subject for next week's show.
We didn't really have a subject this tonight, but it's gone down once again. It's go down a really interesting avenue.
I think
one thing we're really interested in.
Yeah, I think any chat with the three of us in it, there's no point having a subject because we're just going to wander off in any direction we feel like going in.
Yeah, tangent radio, we love it.
Yeah.
So once again, thank you very much, everyone. It's only 10 minutes short than normal. Hope you all have a great week. We'll be back in at Sunday night, 8:00. And Nath, you're always welcome on. We'll get you on every couple of weeks if you want. You know.
Yeah. And whenever I'm not on, I'll be in the comments bugging you all with.
Thank you very much. It's been fantastic.
More rabbit hole questions and weird theories I've come up with this week.
Keep them coming, mate. Keep them coming.
So thanks very much. I'll say goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me. See you soon.
And it's goodbye from him.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Nate, for joining us. And we'll see you next time, guys. Take care.
Bye.